And I'd like to welcome you all to our brand new session today. Her Story, Our Story, celebrating women's contributions through time. Happy Women's History Month, everyone, and I hope you guys enjoy and learn something new, and encouraging all folks to share because you all have something special to share, as always. The WildTech DC Senior Digital Equity Program is owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the info and any apps or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and in social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see me, hear me, or see the screen, please let me know in the chat. I would appreciate that. Let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones silenced to give ourselves the most immersive experience. And as always, make sure you take notes and or screenshots so you can review the information for later. But this session will be posted on our YouTube channel, so make sure you view that session if you would like. Today, we're going to be going over some foundations, historical journeys, key eras and events that shape women's roles. We'll be learning about some trailblazers, celebrating the pioneers, so science, arts, activism, and much more. Some local and modern contributions, so recent advancements of women. And of course, our end discussion and Q&A. So just reflecting on the legacy of women's contributions to society and our future. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you all learned something new today. So first up, foundations, our historical journey. Question time, so quick question to get us again started for our session today, get us excited. Name one woman who inspires you and why. So any woman, could be historical, could not be. Name one woman who inspires you and why. Please raise your hands, and love to hear from some folks before we start with some videos. And it could be historical, celebrity, modern, in the past. Any takers? One woman who inspires you and why. Okay. Yeah, taking a second to think about it. I appreciate it. I see we have three hands. So first up, we got Miss Brenda. Thanks so much for joining.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Maya Angelou.
Okay. And why?
Well, because she's truthful. She tells the truth. She's inspirational. I love everything about her.
Thank you so much, Brenda. I really appreciate
Sure.
that. We got Anne next. Hi, Anne. Hope you're well.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna I have the woman Oprah Winfield. She's a woman of unique character. I like the way she helps the needy and the way she lost weight when she was bigger. That's my inspiration.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really appreciate that, Miss Anne.
Thank you.
You. All right, we'll take three. Got three more. Thank you. Then we'll go on to some videos. We got Mr. Thomas. Thanks so much for sharing.
I have a hero. She was my fifth grade teacher who got me interested in music, books, and the arts. And I've always admired her. Sorry, so many years have gone by now that I can't tell her how much I appreciate it, but I do.
I love that answer, Mr. Thomas. I can say many teachers have inspired me as well. So I feel you on that. Thank you so much. Okay, we got Ms. Doris. Thank you so much for coming on. Hope you're well.
Hi, I'm saying Eleanor Holmes.
And
I admire her because she always does a great job in anything that you contact her with. She does it right away and get the problem solved.
Her office downtown or wherever it's at is she has some amazing people working for her. So I definitely agree.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, Miss Marie, thanks so much for sharing.
Like, one woman who inspires me is Oprah Winfrey. I've been following her career ever since she was working in Baltimore. And I think she's just wonderful. And I admire how she does all sorts of things and touches people. Okay.
Thank you so much, Miss Marie. I love it. She was so influential back in the day, so I'm not surprised we had another Oprah Winfrey. So thank you. All right. We got a minute each, but I got you too. Okay, we got Anne and then Miss Denise.
My person that I admire is Mother Teresa, and I had the pleasure to meet her when she came to Washington one time, and she inspired me to continue to do what my mother and my grandmother and I used to do was a lot of charitable work. St. Aloysius used to feed the people under the K Street Bridge once a month or twice a month. And I was glad to be a part of that. And I still tried to contribute to the pantries. When I get stuff that I can't use, I take it to the church and put it in the pantry for others who may need it.
My
So
goodness.
she inspired me a lot, and she went through a lot. And I'm trying to stay closer to God, but sometimes but I always think about what she went through, and I try to maintain my trust in the Lord, because without him, nothing is possible. With him, all things are possible.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Okay. All right, Miss Denise, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, hello everybody. My granddaughter inspires me a lot because she reminds me of me when I was coming up. And she's very mature for her age. She just turned 21 last month, and you'd be surprised how she is. And she just reminds me of me, and we're very close. You know, because when I came up young, you know, I had to do a lot of things and stuff at my age, and she does the same thing. So she inspires me a lot. Thank you for letting me share that.
I love that, Denise. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
You can be inspired by anyone, younger, older, same age as you, man, woman, other. Anyone can inspire you. So I love that. Hi, Miss Donna. Okay, I got you. I really appreciate the participation today.
Good evening, ladies. I have two women in my life that inspires me the most. One is my granddaughter because she suffered at a young age with depression. And when she went off, after she had graduated, she was still dealing with that and suicidal and all that comes with depression. And her older, her cousin the same range that she was that graduated, went to college, and she wanted to go to college, but she was going through so much. So she fell in my lap crying one day, and she said, "Grandma, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?" I said, "Baby, there's nothing wrong with you." I say, "We're going to pray." I said, you know what you know, because you are very intelligent. You're just going through something right now. And with that being said, all her cousins that belittled her or made her feel bad about herself because she was dealing with her own issues, they dropped out of school. They came back after that first year, and she is now getting ready to graduate from college this year because she beat that struggle and she made it through. My second most powerful woman to me is Monique, the comedian and
I love her.
and I'm really going to tell you why. I was working at J.B. Johnson Nursing Home. I was in my 20s, I believe. And you know how celebrity comes up, they got all these cars and police and whatever. We never knew that she was even in the building. So we were called to come to a certain floor. And the floor we came to was our most elderly, sick patients. And we had one resident that she used to drool a lot. This woman came after we all got up there, and we realized that it was really Monique there. And she sung for him, she did a show for him. And the woman that I'm talking about, never can call names, but she went over to her. So when she went to her, she wanted to hug Monique. So one of the nurses was like, no. She said, don't do that. She said, don't do that. She said, can I get a tissue from somebody, please? We gave Miss Monique a tissue. She wiped her mouth and she kissed that lady. She said, baby, it's okay because I am who I am. And I love her because they always blackballed her. And that woman is such a sweet, godly woman. So she is one that really had inspired me as a Black woman that was in fame, that didn't look down on other people that wasn't her caliber, as they say. And we took pictures, we danced, we partied with that lady. And she only had 2 cars. It was one with her and her husband. And she didn't have bodyguards. She didn't have any of that. She was just, just like a normal person. So thank you all for letting me share that. But these are the 2 women that inspires me the most.
I really appreciate you sharing that, Miss Donna. I really do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. You sharing your life stories definitely helps out others. I saw those hearts and the reactions, and please share any others in the chat. Any woman inspires you while we watch our videos and do our activities, please share in the chat as well. But thank you so much. You guys are a part of history now. Thank you. Our first video is on Women's History Month. How was it born and why is it observed in March? Hope you guys enjoy these videos. We'll have a short discussion before our next section.
Women have been shaping human history since the dawn of civilization, but it's the month of March that was chosen to honor women throughout history. Here's why. The origin story of Women's History Month is up for debate, but it was born right here in the US during the suffrage movement, when women were fighting for the right to vote. Some historians say that its roots can be traced back to a protest on March 8, 1857. It was then that a group of women from New York City textile factories allegedly staged a strike over poor working conditions. But scholars argue that this demonstration was fabricated, suggesting that the strike was invented retroactively to give the annual celebration a more compelling backstory. At first, women's history was only observed for one day. The Socialist Party of America first declared National Women's Day in 1909 amid the women's rights movement, but the idea quickly spread around the globe. The idea of an International Women's Day was proposed and approved in 1910 at the International Conference of Working Women in Copenhagen, which we now celebrate every year on March 8th. Fast forward to the 1970s in Sonoma County, California, where a group of people were fed up that women's history was being left out of the classroom. The first Women's History Week was celebrated in March 1978, culminating with a parade in downtown Santa Rosa, California. This local celebration turned into a movement. Activists pushed to make this week official, and it worked. In 1980, President Carter issued the first presidential proclamation, declaring the second week of March as National Women's History Week. And that momentum kept growing. In 1987, Congress officially declared March as National Women's History Month. A special presidential proclamation is issued each year which honors the extraordinary achievements of women in America. But more than 30 years later, the fight for gender equality continues. In 2020, for every dollar a man made, women made 82 cents.
Hope you guys enjoyed and learned with that short but very interesting video on Women's History Month and why it's observed in March. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate the chat, Miss Kim. My mom is my virtual inspiration woman. She raised 10 kids and made me the woman that I am today. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Our next video is on that historic women's suffrage march on Washington. So going into more details, thought this video was very interesting. Hope you guys enjoy and learn something new.
On March 3, 1913, protesters parted for the woman in white. Dressed in a flowing cape and sitting astride a white horse, the activist, Inez Milholland, was hard to miss. She was riding at the helm of the Women's Suffrage Parade, the first mass protest for a woman's right to vote on a national scale. After months of strategic planning and controversy, thousands of women gathered in Washington, D.C. Here, they called for a constitutional amendment granting them the right to vote. By 1913, women's rights activists had been campaigning for decades. As a disenfranchised group, women had no voice in the laws that affected their or anyone else's lives. However, they were struggling to secure broader support for political equality. They'd achieved no major victories since 1896, when Utah and Idaho enfranchised women. That brought the total number of states which recognized a woman's right to vote to 4. A new media-savvy spirit arrived in the form of Alice Paul. She was inspired by the British suffragettes, who went on hunger strikes and endured imprisonment in the early 1900s. Rather than conduct costly campaigns on a state-by-state basis, Paul sought the long-lasting impact of a constitutional amendment which would protect women's voting rights nationwide. As a member of the National American Women's Suffrage Association, Paul proposed a massive pageant to whip up support and rejuvenate the movement. Washington authorities initially rejected her plan and then tried to relegate the march to side streets. But Paul got those decisions overturned and confirmed a parade for the day before the presidential inauguration of Woodrow Wilson. This would maximize media coverage and grab the attention of the crowds who would be in town. However, in planning the parade, Paul mainly focused on appealing to white women from all backgrounds, including those who were racist. She actively discouraged African American activists and organizations from participating, and stated that those who did so should march in the back. But Black women would not be made invisible in a national movement they helped shape. On the day of the march, Ida B. Wells Barnett, a groundbreaking investigative journalist and anti-lynching advocate, refused to move to the back and proudly marched under the Illinois banner. The co-founder of the NAACP, Mary Church Terrell, joined the parade with 22 founders of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, an organization created by female students from Howard University. In these ways and more, Black women persevered despite deep hostility from white women in the movement, and at great political and physical risk. On the day of the parade, suffragists assembled to create a powerful exhibition. The surging sections of the procession included international suffragists, artists, performers, and business owners. Floats came in the form of golden chariots, an enormous Liberty Bell, and a map of enfranchised countries. On the steps of the Treasury building, performers acted out the historical achievements of women to a live orchestra. The marchers carried on even as a mob blocked the route, hurling insults and spitting at women, tossing cigars and physically assaulting participants. The police did not intervene, and in the end, over 100 women were hospitalized. Their mistreatment, widely reported throughout the country, catapulted the parade into the public eye and garnered suffragists greater sympathy. National newspapers lambasted the police, and congressional hearings investigated their actions during the parade. After the protest, the Women's Journal declared, "Washington has been disgraced. Equal suffrage has scored a great victory." In this way, the march initiated a surge of support for women's voting rights that endured in the coming years. Suffragists kept up steady pressure on their representatives, attended rallies, and petitioned the White House. Inez Milholland, the woman on the white horse, campaigned constantly throughout the United States, despite suffering from chronic health problems. She did not live to see her efforts come to fruition. In 1916, she collapsed while giving a suffrage speech and died soon after. According to popular reports, her last words were, "Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty?" Though full voting inclusion would take decades, in 1920, Congress ratified the 19th Amendment, finally granting women the right to vote. When we make videos about the history of justice, we often wonder, what's next? Luckily for us, within our community, there is a chorus of young voices demanding a brighter future. Check out some of these ideas on the TED-Ed student.
Wow, I really enjoyed that video. And unfortunately, to see that even fighting for women's rights, there was still, unfortunately, still racism within groups among the movement. But as you can see, they said they would not be outcasted from the movements, that, the whole national movement. So hope you guys enjoyed and learned some about the names and figures and the Women's Suffrage March on Washington. And that was very interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed. And last but not least, this quick mini video on history making American woman. Hope you guys enjoy, and in the animation as well.
I'm not just a girl. I have big ideas. I'm going to be a doctor.
I am fearless.
I want to heal the sick. I'm going to make a difference.
I want to tell stories.
I love adventure. I have compassion. I can do anything I want to do.
I am a trailblazer.
I want to discover new things. I want to create change. I believe in justice. I want to explore the universe.
I want to fly.
I want to do something no one else has ever done.
I believe girls can do anything.
I want to change the world.
I'm going to make history.
Again, I hope you guys enjoyed those 3 different videos today so far. We learned about Women's History Month and how it was born. We also learned about the historic Women's Suffrage March on Washington and learned about some history making American women. Any quick thoughts on the videos? Anything new that you learned? Anything that struck out to you? Any thoughts on these 3 videos? I really enjoyed all 3, learned a lot. And sometimes the names can escape certain minds, especially my mind names. So definitely learning about the names is so important to me, and hope you all enjoy it. All right, Miss Rosemary, what did you learn from the video?
Mr. Adams, I didn't know any of I didn't get to see the videos.
Okay, well, try coming in and out of Zoom. You should be able to see the display, the video. I'm on my other device right now, so try coming back in and out so you can check the view, so you can continue the session. Okay.
Okay. I said, wait, am I the only one that's seeing the videos? Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Miss Jeanette, for coming on. What did you learn from the videos today? Miss Jeanette, are you there?
I am sorry. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what did you enjoy from the videos?
I enjoy all of them. I recognized, knew about the women's suffrage movement, but I had no idea the part that African Americans played in it, or almost didn't play in it. That was really nice to know that. We keep, all of us, and women in general, keep struggling to be equal, so to speak. In fact, all human beings.
Yeah. So, talking about this and just recognizing all the contributions and history making is just so important for us to recognize. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Miss Jeanette. And Miss Denise, and then we'll go on.
Okay. I heard him say something about Murray Church, Terrell. They talking about the school on, what's that, Willow Road?
Yeah, the name sounded pretty familiar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because otherwise, Murray Church, Terrell, that's the school on Willow Road. I think that's what they was talking about. I don't know if anybody else knows, but that's what I wanted to say because I heard it.
Okay, I really
Right.
appreciate it, Denise. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, yeah, making sure, you guys are able to see the video. You can, at the bottom right, you can adjust the video. So make sure you click on yourself for the video so you can expand either one, either who's speaking or the screen share. So make sure you utilize that on your device. Okay, we got two more. I got two more for these three videos. We got Mr. Ronald next. What did you learn from these videos so far? Thanks so much.
But to answer Denise, that is Mary Church Terrell Elementary School at Wheeler Road and Alabama Avenue. But I'm really mystified as to how the men treated the ladies in their parade, how they cheered them and threw stuff at them. And well, if they did that to them, I can only imagine what they did to the Black women. But I'm glad that they bucked and didn't go to the rear as was suggested. But I'm really miffed as to how the men treated the ladies in that march.
I know it just makes me feel so grateful to be, in 2025 and, that actually happened, and it just makes me feel so grateful, and, that I didn't have to go through that, and be, very appreciative of, those folks' struggles and just going through it. It's just amazing, right? I'm disgusted at that happened, and the police didn't do anything, and
Yeah, that's
they
wicked.
really had to fight for their rights.
That's wicked. That's wicked that happened. And the mentality of someone during that time or even today as to how to treat someone who's slightly different than you are. Women are on this earth just like men. And no matter what color, they shouldn't have been treated like that. That's all I have to say. But that is Mary Church Terrell at the top of Wheeler Road and Alabama Avenue, named after Miss Mary Church Terrell.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Ronald. I really appreciate that. Yes, I love it. And Ms. Donna, what did you think of these three videos? Anything that struck out to you? What did you learn?
Okay. Actually, it was I was going. Mr. Ronald answered the question that Miss Denise wanted. It was Mary Church Terrell. It is now called KIPP. Because back in the days, a couple of my family members went to Mary Church Terrell. And to piggyback off of the video, I had an aunt back in those days, God rest her soul. She was a part of that march. Sorry about that. Oh, let me mute. That's all I had to say.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you all for lowering your hands, muting yourselves afterwards. Thank you so much. All right, our next section is on some trailblazers. So celebrating the pioneers of science, of the arts, activism, and more. So different fields, different parts of society. So this first one, a general video, again, the trailblazers of Women History Month. Hope you guys enjoy and learn something new.
We get a closer look now in the story of women's history. From the beginning of time, women have played a vital role in the development of society. Trailblazing figures such as Rosa Parks, Amelia Earhart, and Helen Keller are just a few who have made their mark on a world that hasn't always been supportive of their dreams and goals. Though she passed away in 1968, Ms. Keller's influence on the world is still felt today. In 1920, she helped form the American Civil Liberties Union, as she became one of the best-known advocates for those with disabilities. In the modern era, Temple Grandin has achieved similar notoriety for her work in the world of autism. As a highly functioning autistic woman, she has earned great respect for bringing much-needed insight to a complex affliction.
Well, autism goes from someone like Einstein, who had no speech until age 3, to somebody that's nonverbal and never learns to dress themselves. And the doctors over the years have changed the diagnosis. It used to be autistic, you had to have delayed speech. I had delayed speech. I did not speak until I was 4 years old. But some of the main symptoms you get in autism are sensory oversensitivity, socially awkward, but some individuals who are autistic are really brilliant. I would estimate that a lot of the programmers out in Silicon Valley have autism. I have a new book out now called Visual Thinking, and I talk about where we actually have a skill loss issue, as we need some of these autistic people that are super good at mechanics, or they're super good at computer programming, or something with the tech industry.
The world of space exploration has been predominantly a male-oriented field, but in 1953, Katherine Johnson began a remarkable 33-year career with NASA that went largely unnoticed until the film Hidden Figures was released in 2016. Her achievements in the space program included the vital calculations of trajectories, launch windows, and emergency return paths for the Project Mercury space flights. She was also an integral part of the team that allowed America to be the first to go to the moon. In 2015, she was formally recognized by President Obama with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Her work in the space program inspired the first Latina astronaut to go to space. Ellen Ochoa grew up in Southern California with dreams of being an astronaut, which were first fulfilled in 1993 when she made history on a 9-day mission aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. She in turn has paid it forward by encouraging a new generation to reach for the stars.
When you think about science and engineering, it's about curiosity, it's about creativity, discovering new knowledge and or solving challenges and problems. And I think those are things that lots of kids are interested, boys and girls, but certainly girls can bring a lot to that. It's about working with a team. And one of the things I loved about working for NASA was it was an incredibly talented and dedicated team. And you had all these people working together for a common goal. I think that appeals to a lot of people. Hopefully young girls out there are thinking, yeah, that's something that I really like to do. I like to work with others and try to bring some benefit, solve a problem, or somehow make my community better. And I think that's what we get to do at NASA, and that's something they could absolutely grow up to do.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy that short, but again, very interesting video learning about NASA and, Hidden Figures and that whole story. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new or just had fun, please raise your hand in Zoom before our next 2 videos. Okay, again, if you enjoyed, if you learned something new, and it was just amazing, just what, in history, like what has happened in our past, what happens now. Just thinking what happened before us. It's just amazing. I'm speechless at some of the contributions that, women, but just, our whole society in general has made in just the past 50, 60, 70 years, right? So we're definitely living in a time of change. All right, thanks so much. Our next 2 videos, one, the woman who changed Chinese cuisine in America. Hope you guys enjoy and learn something new.
My name is Cecilia Chan. People said I brought Chinese food to America. Julia Child brought French. Cecilia Chan brought Chinese. This is all my sisters. That's me. In 1959, I came to San Francisco visiting my sister Sophie. She lived the edge of Chinatown. The first time I noticed the food, I said, "Is this a Chinese food?" My sister said, "Yes." I look at the menu, chop suey, egg foo young. I'm originally born near Shanghai, and I said, I don't remember we tasted any of this in China. So my sister said, this is American Chinese food. I decided I want to introduce my Chinese food to USA. I opened the Mandarin in 1960. This is Mandarin with the mayor, Moscone. The customer said, oh my goodness, the food tastes totally different. A lot of dishes that we never seen before. We had hot and sour soup, the lettuce cup, the pot sticker, Peking duck. I was the first one served in San Francisco. I didn't create that, but I introduced that to Americans, and now everybody has it. I met Alice one night. She came to the Mandarin, and one thing another. I'm hungry.
I'm Alice Waters, and I'm the owner of Chez Panisse Restaurant. I've known Cecilia almost 50 years.
It's done. It's done.
Cecilia's restaurant was incredibly important, and so many people came there and learned and opened Chinese restaurants or taught cooking.
You want the ginger juice. So this way, all the juice come out.
Her food is very delicious. And if it is a little strange, she'll tell you a story about it and you'll want to try it. Every time I have a meal with Cecilia, I learn something.
I don't get all the credit, but I think I did something. People always say, you put this in the menu. I think Americans don't like it. I said, good food is good food. Doesn't matter you are American, I'm Chinese. If you put good food, I think everybody will like it. Don't you think?
Oh, wasn't that such a nice video, you guys? Wow. History in the making. So good. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. We did have a music video, but this is it is a little long, so I'm gonna link it in the chat before you leave for today. But I think this is a great video, great woman in music history. Hope you guys enjoy. If you like Nina Simone and learning about her story, as well as some other great women in music, please check out this video. But I'll see if we can play it if we have some time, okay? This video right here, 50 years of Title IX, women's sports. Hope you guys enjoy and learn something new about Title IX. So this video was made 3 years ago, so we're 53 years of Title IX. Hope you guys enjoy.
On June 23rd, 1972, Title IX was signed into law. It's the first law that prohibited discrimination on the basis of sex and ensures equal opportunity for women in all levels of education, especially athletics. 50 years later, Title IX continues to be a major player in the fight for women's equality in sports. This is the impact of Title IX. Throughout history, patriarchal societies have often dictated that sports were only for boys and men. Dating back to Aristotle, medical authorities believed that women's reproductive systems were athletic liabilities, claiming if women played sports, they would become infertile. It wasn't until the late 1800s that women began participating in recreational sports, but only women of the upper class. In 1900, women were allowed to participate in the Olympics for the very first time at the Paris Games. Out of 997 athletes, only 22 were women, competing in tennis, sailing, croquet, horseback riding, and golf. Team sports were for the men. By the 1970s, only 7% of high school athletes were girls, and only 15% of college athletes were women. Due to the lack of participation, teams often had to fundraise for equipment, coaches, and competitive facilities. As gender discrimination issues continued, Representative Patty T. Mink, along with Representative Edith Green and Senator Birch Bayh, introduced Title IX to Congress with a goal of eliminating these disparities and protecting women's rights. President Richard Nixon signed the Educational Amendments of 1972 into law, which included Title IX. Title IX states that no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Under federal law, students are now protected from gender-based discrimination in school and athletics, ensuring equal opportunity and resources for both men's and women's sports programs, while protecting all athletes from unfair treatment on the basis of their gender identity or sexual orientation. Since the enactment of Title IX, women's participation in sports has grown exponentially. Over the past 50 years, the number of girls participating in high school sports has increased from less than 300,000 to more than 2.6 million. In college, the number has grown from 30,000 to more than 150,000 women. While monumental steps towards equality have been made since 1972, mountains of adversity remain. It's not just about creating more opportunities for girls, women, and transgender athletes, but redefining gender roles to create an equal playing field. There is still plenty of progress to be made, but as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX and the women who fought to get us here, there is hope for a more equitable future for all women in sports.
Again, thank you all so much for watching those two videos, one on sports and the history of Title IX, women's in sports. And we also learned about the woman that made Chinese cuisine and influenced it very much here in America. Any thoughts or comments before our last section for today on these two videos? And three actually, women's sports. We also, again, took a look at the woman who changed Chinese cuisine in America. And we also learned about some other trailblazers of Women's History Month. But I did put that great music, woman in music history video in the chat. But any thoughts on these three videos? All right, Miss Jeanette, thank you so much for sharing. What did you think?
I enjoyed it, and particularly Title IX, because I didn't think about women's sports. Working in the school system as a substitute teacher, that came up with the children with disabilities, and that's where I'm familiar with it. But to know that it's scanned everything in the public school system, it's good to know, and women's sports. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Jeanette. I appreciate that perspective very much. Any other quick thoughts on these three videos? But again, without the work of these different persons, certainly society would be different today. So again, I'm just in awe of the work that, people have done to make sure all have equal access, no matter, X, Y, and Z. Okay, watch 6 AAA about women in the Army Corps, currently popular. Thank you so much for that. Yes, there's a lot of programs out there, especially on TV, live TV, streaming services. They're going to be highlighting a lot of everything, documentaries, TV shows, movies, cooking shows. I mean, a lot of different women's history programs this month. So I love it. Thank you so much, you guys. And our last section for today, before we go into, is real quick, just another link on some trailblazers in Women's History Month. So just to scan through, I'll also share this here in the chat as well. Okay, but this was very interesting as well. So Shirley Chisholm, first African-American woman elected to U.S. Congress. And her quote, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." Raise your hand if you agree with that. I'm going to zoom in so you all can see it a little easier. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. She shared that quote. Outspoken advocate for women and minorities during her 7 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Patsy Mink just mentioned Title IX, yes. Title IX was named to the Patsy Teaming Equal Opportunity in Education Act following her death in 2002. Didn't know that. Catherine Meyer Graham, first publisher of an American newspaper, first CEO of Fortune 500 company of the Washington Post. Wow, I did not know that. 63 to 91. There's so many other ones here as well. Just make sure you check out that link, okay? Arabella Mansfield. She was the first female lawyer in the United States, 1869. Marie Curie, Polish-French scientist. Yeah, her research on radioactivity, first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and the only person to have won the award in 2 different scientific fields. She shared, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less." Again, if you like that quote, if it resonates with you, please raise your hands. I love it. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Time to understand more so we may fear less. Sandra Day O'Connor, first female associate justice confirmed in the Supreme Court, and she's released several books. Madam C.J. Walker, Homeline made line of hair care products, first Black woman millionaire in America. She shared, "The girls and women of our race must not be afraid to take hold of business endeavor, and by patient industry, close economy, determined effort, and close application to business, bring success out of a number of business opportunities that lie at their very doors." I know that's right. There are so many other ones here. We talked about Ruby Bridges before. She released published her first book, Through My Eyes, and a children's version. She was the first African-American child to integrate an all-white public school in Louisiana. Many other ones here. I love this article. There's so many here that you learn about. Sojourner Truth. "I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could heed me, and aren't I a woman?" I love it. Amelia Earhart, Nellie Bly, American journalist. She wrote an expose to report about the harsh treatments from within a mental institution. She said a world-breaking trip around the world in 72 days. Wow. I love this article. Clara Barton, yeah, Red Cross. Look at that, isn't that amazing? Mary McLeod Bethune, yeah? Hope you all get to check out that article here in the chat. And thanks so much. I loved it as well. Thank you so much for your comments, you guys. Our last section today is some local and modern contributions. So first up, Mayor Bowser actually released a letter, an invitation for residents to celebrate Women's History Month together. So I'm going to zoom in so you all can see it a little bit more. There you go. She invited residents to celebrate Women's History Month at events happening throughout March, and telling stories of District DC women's achievements, knowledge, and plans hold significant importance. This month is a season for remembrance, celebration, and inspiring action. There are many different events. Second annual MPD Women's Conference, that's from the 4th to the 6th on 801 Allen Wailu Place. Then there's the registration right here. So I'm going to share this with you all in the chat as well. Okay. The Start Smart Salary Negotiation Workshop. So again, if this would benefit you or anyone that you know, whether you're negotiating a new job offer or raise, this workshop provides practical tools and expert insights to boost your confidence. This is tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Benning Library. So again, anyone that you know would be interested, please share this link with them. International Women's Day celebration. It's a local female chefs from the DMV area. This is this Thursday at 6. So it is during our movie night, but if you'd like, please attend. Hotel Zine, 1155 14th Street. Her Story 5K. Yes, every year. This coming Saturday. And I love all these different events. Financially Fit DC Women, Women Build Wealth. This is March 25th at 5:30, Lamont Riggs Library. Woman of Excellence Awards, UDC Main Campus is March 26th at 6 p.m. And finally, in this letter, Women's History Month Table Talk at Francis Gregory Library on Saturday, March 29th at 12 o'clock, and going over some statistics about women's health challenges. So yes, this is from the mayor, and I hope you guys get to attend some of these events, okay? And thanks so much for going over that with me. Here's a quick video on some women's history in DC, on some places you can visit, as we discussed last week as well. Hope you guys enjoy and learn something new. you can go into your Apple Maps app or your Maps app on your device, and you can look up how to get to these certain celebrations or observing the women's history in DC. So I like this format of this video. This is the Mary McLeod Bethune Council House National Historic Site. Wow, so even with that video, we talked about Mary McLeod last week, but I never knew about the Belmont Paul Monument and this last one right here as well. So the women's in the Arts Museum. It's been a long time since I've been to that museum, so I'm saying that because I'm reminded of it now. But if you like women's fashion art, different pieces, different history, definitely check out the National Museum of Women in the Arts. So again, I hope you guys enjoy that video and learn about some new places. DC Public Library also has their Women's History Month events. I'm going to share this link in the chat with you all as well, but this can be found on your DC Public Library app. This year's theme for Women's History Month is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. So again, DC Public Library have their own events as well. They have a reading series. So today at 7 at MLK, celebrate women in writing. Paper Rocket Craft, Women's History Month Craft. This is at Southwest Library this coming Saturday at 4 p.m. On the 15th, there's a Women's History Month scavenger hunt. Looks like, well, it does look it's safe for kids, but definitely love that. You can learn about the women of DC Public Library here as well. So Dorothy Heights, Benning Library, and learn more about her history here. Lamont Riggs, Lillian J. Huff Library and her history right here, and Juanita E. Thor in the Shepherd Park Library. And you can learn more about it here. They recommend some books for kids, books for teens, books for adults, and all about Women's History Month, Women's History in DC. Look at these different books available. Wow. 111 places in women's history that you must not miss in Washington, D.C. I love to have that book. And you can, there's a Women's History Month playlist, Women in Life magazine, DC Oral History Collaborative, some related articles. So I love this. I love what DC Public Library does in regards to their events. They had some great Black History Month programs. So Women's History Month, I know they'll do a great job as well. Okay. And last but not least, this website, this is from Howard University College of Arts and Sciences. This link has a bunch of different organizations for women. There's Howard University organizations in the DMV area, right outside the DMV area, and international women's rights. So if you click on these different sections, look at all these different women's right organizations here in the DC area. So there is so much, an abundance of different organizations and resources for anyone to take advantage of. So look at this. This is amazing. This one's called Becky's Fund. If I click on it, yeah, Becky's Fund, domestic violence. Learning how to be able to support or utilize their organization. This one, the Center for Health and Gender Equity. Wow. Again, this website, again, you can learn more about their organization, stay up to date, sign up for their newsletter, inquiries. Let's do one more in here. Let's see. This one is called Sister Mentors. What is that one about? Nurturing the next generation of women of color leaders. So there's mentoring, you can learn who they are, about us. Multiracial, multi-ethnic, and multi-generational women and girls of color. As women, we experience overlapping oppressions which disrupt and upend our lives every day. Wow. So yes, this link from Howard University showcases different organizations you can support or again utilize in the DC area, outside of the DC area, some international women's rights organizations, or even some that from Howard as well. So thank you all so much for going over these different local observances and opportunities and organizations that you can utilize here in the DC area to advocate and support girls and women's rights here in DC. We're gonna end today with some trivia. So again, we did a lot of learning, a lot of fun, a lot of videos as well, and chats, which were just so amazing. You guys are a part of history. We're gonna end with some trivia today. So let's see what you learned and more fun facts. So please, raise your hand. This is, very chill, very relaxed, fun trivia. Hope you guys, let's see what we can do. So we'll do about 5 questions. So first one here, who was known as the angel of the battlefield because of her work as a nurse during the Civil War? So actually, you all can unmute yourselves. That will be fine as well. So please unmute yourself and share what you think it is.
Clara Barton.
Okay, any other Clara Bartons or any other choices? And you can unmute and share. Who was known as the angel of the battlefield? Okay. All right. I see just Clara Barton. So thank you again so much, Ms. Brenda. I really appreciate that. Any takers? Here's number 3. When and where and when was the first women's rights convention held in the US? Seneca Falls, Philly, New York City, or Woodstock, New York? Again, please unmute and share. What do you all think? And this is for fun.
See.
Okay. And when and where? First Women's Rights Convention. Again, you can unmute yourself and share if you would like.
Seneca Falls.
Of the economic black
Philadelphia.
No, we aren't finished. It's going to take both commitment and
Yeah. Okay. Any other takers? Again, please share your answer.
Philadelphia.
Okay, we got one for New York, one for Philly, one for New York. Any other takers? And you can unmute yourself and share.
Philadelphia.
frequent responses that came up was offering
Seneca Falls.
Okay, so we have some Seneca Falls, some
There's
New
actually
York.
a ton of resources out there. My page is one.
We got to keep our TVs and cell phones in mind, you all. We can't hear anything if you guys have a TV and a cell phone, okay? All right, well, I'm gonna go with Seneca Falls, but let's see what it is at the end. Okay, so here is let's go number 6. This 19th century feminist designed a new style of clothing for women. The style never became popular, but her name entered this American language as a term for a specific type of garment. Elizabeth Weska, Amelia Bloomer, Marie Corset, or Anna Henley.
Corset.
Okay. Any other takers?
I'll try Bloomer.
I don't know the answer myself, so
Maria
Corset. First woman to design.
Corset, okay. Got some corsets. I got a Bloomer. Again, any other takers?
Who was the name?
Okay. All right. I don't hear any other answers, so we'll go with, I heard a couple of corsets, so we'll go with Miss Marie. We'll see what it is. Again, you can unmute and share. You don't have to raise your hand. Please share. If everyone could unmute and share it, that would make my day. Which 1920s movie star was known as the It Girl? Mary Pickford, Clara Bow, Tallulah Bankhead, or Mae West?
Mary Pickford.
Mae West.
Mae West.
Yeah,
Mary Pickford.
I'm going with Mae West.
Mae West.
Okay. Love it, you all.
Parabellum.
Okay, yeah, I heard a ton of Mae West. We'll see. Well, I heard you, Mr. Thomas. Let's see who got it right. Let's see. Who was the first woman to be vice presidential nominee of a major political party? Eleanor Roosevelt, Ferraro, Elizabeth Dole, or Margaret Smith?
Eleanor Roosevelt. Roosevelt.
Ferrara.
Geraldine Ferraro.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Geraldine Ferraro.
I hear kind of half and half for that one. So, I'm gonna go. I'm not sure of it. I'm gonna go with Ferrara. I don't know why, but let's see what it is. So,
Yes.
thank you all so much. Let's see what our answers are. So, number one, it is Clara Barton. She founded the American Red Cross. The International Red Cross was founded by Henry.
Mhm.
And number three, Seneca Falls in 1848. Elizabeth and Lucretia Mott and three other women organized the first women's right convention. Few people took them seriously. Yep, Seneca Falls. This 19th century feminist, yeah, the clothing, it's Amelia Bloomer.
Yes.
Got that. She believed that 19th century fashions were restrictive and harmful to women's health, so she designed her Bloomer costume, a loose-fitting dress worn over baggy pants. It never became popular, but bloomers entered the American language as a term for undergarments.
I'm sick of Brenda. I'm sick of Brenda.
Yeah, you're killing it. Good job. Yep, Clara Bow. Clara Bow, who Mr. Thomas, you were right. She starred in a silent film called It. In this case, it referred to sex appeal. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So thank you so much. And number 10, it was Geraldine Ferraro, unsuccessful Democratic presidential candidate Walter Mondale chose Geraldine Ferraro as his running mate in 1984.
Right.
Oh, okay. I hope you guys like the trivia.
Loved it.
A lot. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you all so much. You guys did amazing. I love the participation. All right. And I did not forget for our second section for music at the end, for the passing of Angie Stone, we'll be sure to do our remembrance after our session today. Okay. So I did not forget about Angie Stone. So she was definitely a trailblazer in music. So I got you all today. Okay. But if you all enjoyed the session today, if you learned a lot, if you learn more about Women's History Month than you may have known before, or if you had a lot of shocking moments today for what you learned, please raise your hand as well. Yeah. Roberta Flack. We highlighted her in our Beyond February session, Miss Rosemary. So make sure you check that out on our YouTube channel, okay? Yeah, our Beyond February session. We did a 3-course video on Roberta Flack. So hope you all enjoy. Well, thank you so much for the hands. I see we have about 5 hands. Again, if you enjoyed this session today, if you learned a lot, if you enjoyed, if you're going to share this info with your friends and family and everyone else, please raise your hand in Zoom. But yeah, so what is one new fact that you learned today? What inspired you today? What lessons from the past can inspire our future that you learned today? And how do you see the role of women evolving in our society, even in 2025? So again, I hope you all learned a lot. It was a pleasure to create and present this session for us. And we're going to be taking a look at Women's History Month throughout March. So thanks so much for joining today. I see we have some hands. Again, any thoughts, any comments today, any answers to these questions, please raise your hand in Zoom. First up, we got Anne. Thanks so much for coming on. Any thoughts or comments on the session today? Ms. Dennis, we got 2 Anns. And please raise your hand if you'd like to share any thoughts or any comments, anything new that you learned today. Okay.
Good job, Coach.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ronald. Would you like to answer one of these questions for us?
I learned several things today that has me sitting on the sidelines. I still can't get over the way the women were treated in their march.
Mm-hmm.
That still resonates in my heart.
Same here. Just makes you really think again about how blessed we are to this day. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald, for sharing. I really appreciate that. Any other thoughts or any other comments for today? Please raise your hand before our poll. Make sure you stay on for our poll today. And of course, make sure you check out some of the resources here in the chat. Again, Anne, I see your hand up. I hope everything's okay. If you want to share any thoughts or comments, please unmute yourself, okay? All right, Miss Jeanette, thanks so much for coming on.
What lessons from the past can inspire our future? When we think about what women were able to accomplish even years ago, which was very difficult at the time, can help us to see that we should not limit ourselves and our expectations for what we can do. That's
I
all.
love that. I love that. No, thank you so much. Again, you can do anything you put your mind to. Doesn't matter, your age, who you are, etc. One person can change the world, but if you find others that have your same mission and same, thought process, that makes it even better. So you can make an impact on your own, but also with others as well. It's just how you decide to go about it. There's not a right or a wrong way for that, but certainly if you have an idea in mind or something that you want to put together, don't limit yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to. It just takes a bit of effort and a bit of process, a bit of planning, just with all of that, you're capable of great things. So thank you, Anne. I'm glad you're okay. Did you want to share any comments or answers to these questions for today?
I wanted to share something. I wanted to say that I heard you mention, I had to leave the phone for a minute. I wanted to share with you, I heard you make a comment about Angie Stone. And I wanted to thank you for doing that. And I also wanted to thank you. I understand that you mentioned Roberta Flack the other day. That was a person that did a lot for kids in music. People don't know when she was teaching how much she did for children and encouraged children to play the piano and to sing. And she was very instrumental in musical education.
Yeah, that video last week really, and those videos really, I learned a lot about Roberta Flack and her origins here in DC. So
yeah, she was a good friend. And when sometimes when people get uppity, like I say, uppity, you get up there and you get making money and get famous. Sometimes you forget who you knew. But she was not like that.
Yes, acknowledging your past and your roots are definitely important. So I'm so glad that she did that for you and for others as well.
Well, she was a teacher. Like I said, she was a teacher. All of us teachers, the teachers don't get enough credit. A lot of us. I'm not saying I needed any credit, but we surely did not get enough pay because sometimes we had more problems with the parents than we did with the children. So that was a whole new ball game for me. But it was inspiring. And the first I saw Angie Stone in Chicago at a club, which was her first appearance, and she was not stuck up either.
Oh no, no, you know, when you're humble, you get really far in life when you're very humble. So I'm
You
not.
know what God said? God says, "I give you a talent. What you do with it is what you get."
It's yes, whatever you're good at, you know, it's what you do with it. It's all on you.
And I thank you for this tribute to women. I appreciate it. I thank you very much for it.
Oh, my pleasure, Anne. It was fun and informative to create. So thank you so much. All right, you guys. Well, thank you all so much for coming on our session today, all about Women's History Month, her story, our story. And I hope these achievements through time have definitely opened, you know, all of our eyes to just, you know, the struggles of the folks that came before us, and just for us to be, I'm very blessed and very thankful and very, I have much gratitude in my soul for, those experiences, because without those, I wouldn't know my friends to this day, or know maybe some of you all, or DC could be very different without some of these contributions. So it was a pleasure to present. Make sure you check out all of our sessions tomorrow, our advanced session on apps by female developers, our Cherry Blossoms DC and Japan session at 12, and our module with Jordan and learning about the control center and copying, pasting text on your Apple device. Okay. Other than that, make sure you stay on for our poll. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks so much for coming on our session. Have a great day.